All right, so I'm down here in our basement. I'm just getting a few trays ready to have pot up some plants. I've got a few tomatoes left to pot up into this size from the 4-cell. And then also, I did want to call this out. I made a silly mistake. I know better than this. I have done this watering. I know how to water the plants. I know how much or whatever. I made a mistake yesterday, and I wanted to call it out so that you guys can also have the reminder or learn from my mistake. Not a big one. It's recoverable, but it's going to make me a little bit more work than I had planned today. So this tray is our cayenne peppers, and if you watched the video, I think from yesterday, day before, I had neglected these plants down here, all of these plants down here, over this past week. Work things happen, right? So I didn't get down here to water the plants on my normal every 3 to 4 day schedule. I water from the bottom. I usually lift a tray and water. Well, what happens is for peppers, they actually don't mind going a little bit dry between waterings, which is why I'm on 3 to 4. I don't fill it very much so that the water can get absorbed up. The roots are trying to go down to the water, right? They actually have to work to get there so that you end up really with good root systems. The problem is I was not really thinking about it, and I overwatered some of these plants. And what that means is that the plants actually tried to suck up the water way too fast. And so they got edema. And so this is the all cayenne peppers here. And almost every one of these has these little bumps. So this is caused by overwatering. It's not a bug. And it showed up since last night. And it showed up when I came down here this morning. So it's really fast. And so as long as I don't continue to overwater, we should be fine. The other thing is that they're still in the original seed starting mix. And this one doesn't have anything in it, but it's really fine. But it clumps and it doesn't have much air. And so the combination of getting too much water and being in this seed starting mix is not ideal. So what I'm going to do is actually transplant as many of these as I can today into the 4-inch pots. And I'm going to transplant them. You can see they're all like kind of falling down because they're just overwatered. I'm going to put them into the soil up to about here. And they will continue to grow roots. You can even see they're trying to grow roots up here. These little white nubs here and here. And so even with bottom watering, that is, just a silly mistake. I've done it before. I will probably do it again. But just a note, this tray just ended up with too much water too fast, and it had been too dry ahead of that. And that's what causes these little bumps. Like I said, they're on almost every plant. So live and learn. Hopefully I won't make this mistake again, but probably will. Easier to recover from. So I thought I would share that note today. Also, this guy is throwing buds like, I don't know, every day, multiple buds. It really wants to flower. The Poblano Ancho. So I am picking those off as every time I see them. Don't want any flowers happening, any buds. As soon as I see the bud, I'm picking the buds before it even goes to flower. I don't want any concentration of their growth on fruit and flowers right now. So as we get into it, I'm going to mix up some new soil. So what that means is I've got my tote over here, and I've got a seed starter mix of 333 NPK, and I've got my watering can. I've got a few different things. I've got the Coast of Maine. This is the platinum bag. And then I've got some perlite. which I'll mix in, along with the Down to Earth starter mix. And they're almost at a point where I would move away from the 3-3-3 and start concentrating on the other growth. But because I'm also fertilizing them, most of the peppers and tomatoes at this point, with the Fox Farm Grow Big liquid plant food, which is a 6-4-4, I don't want to over fertilize the seedlings. And so I'm going to not go much higher on the nitrogen in my soil mix. The other thing is the Coast of Maine Platinum Growers Mix is high in, I think it's high in potassium. I have to double check that now. But so when you're looking at soil mixes, you have to know what makes up your soil and what nutrients it is. Most of them tend not to have much nitrogen. So adding a liquid plant food, and I will also start with probably a topical foliar spray soon. So all of that will be really good and healthy for the plants, but having a schedule I like to do, and then also trying to watch what the plants are doing, and then a CalMag is also another piece that I might add in there soon.